The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola everyone, welcome to the first Open of 2020. Happy New Year. We are the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we'll learn how you can set smart goals and achieve your dreams this year when we sit with life coach, CEO, and founder of Become What You Wish, Stella Badalyan. Then after that, we'll hear what's in store for El Museo del Barrio's 43rd annual Three Kings Day Parade and celebration with this year's title, Nuestros Barrios Unidos, celebrating our collective strength. And then we'll find out about the upcoming 2020 Women's March Alliance entitled Rise and Roar with Us, and we'll learn how you, the viewers, can take part in this anticipated event. And later on in the show, Bobby C brings us an up-to-date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And lastly, this week's Open Artist Spotlight features R&B singer Lea Anderson, who will perform for us in our Open Artist stage singing Love Ya. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way because now we are officially open. Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. Happy New Year. That's right. It's 2020, the year of clarity, we're calling it. And, well, you already know I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche. And, always inviting you to get social with us. That's right, online. That is. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And, of course, while you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, FB, Snapchat. I think I'm still using Snapchat at Rhina Valentin. All right, so another year has begun. Woo! And well, many people have set goals to achieve over the course of the new year. And there's also people trying to discover their true passion and purpose in life. And so our first guest, she's a therapist, a certified life, personal development, and career coach who uses techniques of traditional psychotherapy and life coaching to help her clients achieve their goals through her program, Become What You Wish. Here now to share more about her workshops and how we can all achieve our goals this year, please welcome Stella Badalyan. Hello and welcome.
Hi, Rhina. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we appreciate you being here, and really, I'm really excited to share some of your knowledge because we don't have the entire show to do so. But you have a wonderful background in development. I mean, your credentials are like really wow, our wow factor. I mean, we don't have to go through all of them, but the fact that you've chosen to just make, I guess, psychotherapy, mental wellness, as well as life coaching, and combine it with art and use fashion. It's quite the interesting combination for somebody who's, I think, dedicated her whole life to studying this.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm very passionate about it, to really discover people's potential and really see how they grow, reach their goals. It's very exciting.
So, just to share with everyone a little background, I mean, you studied at Harvard.
I took a training
at Harvard.
Training, meditation and therapy course.
And also with Columbia, right?
It was Columbia Psychiatry CBT course, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy course.
And then you have a BA in psychology?
Psychology, yes, and master's in mental health counseling. and psychotherapy.
So I just want to see, I want them to be aware of the
Oh.
qualifications we're referencing,
Yeah,
right?
thank you.
Which is, and then of course you went to Fashion Institute, right?
Yes, I took courses there because I'm very excited about art and psychology, and I love to combine them. And through art, it's very easy to reach our unconscious potential. Yeah.
And so this leads into just your style, in which I guess we're going to open up the new year, because I know you have a workshop coming up. But you know, I always find that people always set resolutions, and I'm kind of like even a little opposed to the term resolution, because it's kind of like making it wrong and starting new, as opposed to just like, you know what, I'm just going to restore.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, so a lot of times we just put resolution and then we forget about it in a couple of days without even thinking about it, right? And that's the thing. Also, it's very important what goals we put, not determining goals whatever others have. That should be something individual, what makes you happy individually, not something that makes others happy. So that's very important to start with that.
How do you find, what do you find in your studies and the people you work with is one of the biggest obstacles that people have in their space of just what they define as success?
Obstacles or, okay.
Well, because like you said, oh, people are paying attention to other people's, I guess, accomplishments, and then they're judging themselves according to that. So I'm just wondering, right, in the mental health and just in that practice and coming in the new year, how one can kind of just tend to yourself.
Yes, that's a great question. Yes, because with the media, with social media and TV, a lot of people compare themselves with others and they don't choose their own goals, and that's very important to be mindful. What do you really want when you sit down and choose the goal that you want to have, to really feel how it feels for you,
how do you even get to that, right? Because again, you're saying social media is very noisy.
Yes.
It's very distracting.
Yes. Yes.
And unfortunately, I feel, in my opinion, and you know, I use social media as well, but I do feel that it contributes to our mental health issues within society.
Yes, that's true.
And so there's a next generation that is focusing on that as being their primary source of information, their primary source of income. I mean, they're just getting really creative about it, but they're not engaging with being present.
Yes, exactly. Being present, mindful, and really concentrate what they really want. So that's the thing. We put a lot of action sometimes, but sometimes we should also give some time for no action, just to be in a silence, you know, to be with yourself. Just understand what you want. In the morning, at least 10-15 minutes, be with yourself. Do some breathing exercise, really feel your body, how you feel, and really sit down and understand what you really want and write it down. And also afterwards put it in your calendar, because if it's not there, it's going to disappear, right? And also have conversations with people, because you never know what opens up, right? And especially with close people who really understand us, really open up what ideas you have, you know.
So as a therapist, right, and you take on clients, do you take them on primarily for life coaching, or do you take them on for therapy? What is what are your primary methods? Because it seems like you have a different modalities in which you use.
Yes, it depends on a client also, because I have clients that they're purely for therapy, and I have clients for life coaching, although I implement different techniques from therapy and the life coaching as well. But most of the time I use a lot creative arts. It can be drawing, painting, and it doesn't have to, that person doesn't have to know how to paint or draw, but sometimes it really reaches that person's unconscious power and potential, and they get the answers right there. Turn on the music and even just draw your goal, see what comes up.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that was going to be my next question, because you have this workshop that's coming up,
Yes.
and it isn't necessarily solely for artists.
No. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's for. I'm trying to figure out how you're able to read into that, right? Because as a therapist, you're reading into it,
Yes.
and so what are you pulling out of people through whatever it is that they decide to create in drawing,
Yeah.
even if they're not
Yeah.
really into visual arts.
Yes, yeah, that's the thing. With this workshop that's coming up, it will be like they will be provided with boards, and we will go over through all aspects of their life, specifically which one they want to improve, which one they want to develop more, and then we will develop certain actions that they want to implement. But before actions, they will be really like drawing or even arts and crafts, like something that will inspire them to see that image. And
So
also
to
using
build from a word,
magazines.
you're
Yes.
saying from building from a word, almost like a
Yes.
vision board,
Yeah.
except they're expanding on that.
Yeah, yeah, but not just vision board when you put them, forget about
Right.
it, but really implemented actions. And also they will be having a coaching call with me how they can implement it in their life. Yeah.
That's part of the
Yes,
workshop.
yes.
Right. And so when you do take on clients, like what kind of services do you offer? I want to make sure that everybody is clear.
Yeah.
Right. Because you just said you do
Yes.
you do calls
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, I do calls as well for life coaching, and it depends on the goal that person has, but it's different. It can be self-discovery, it can be relationships, it can be career, even like become what you wish, the name itself. Like sometimes people don't know what they want, or they don't know how to achieve that. Most of the time they don't even know their potential. So with different like modalities, I try to like discover and open up the person's potential. You know, it's a non-judgmental environment where they can really express themselves and really discover what's there for them.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
And we're going to share that information with everyone before we leave. But before we leave, what would you like to leave our viewers with as a means of thought?
Oh, sure. So Happy New Year. And with this new year, try to really connect to yourself and understand what you really want. What excites you? What makes you empowered? Like not what something expects from you or the society, but what really makes you happy. And have that time for yourself, at least 10, 15 minutes per day. Starts from that.
Yeah, it
Yes.
does. It is
Yeah.
important. I'm a
Yes.
meditator myself, so
Oh, that's
I'm
great.
right there with you. And thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much for sharing your
you.
knowledge with us.
Sure.
Here's Stella Badalyan. And once again, you guys discover your New Year's goal through creative art. And that's going to be taking place on Sunday, January 12th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And that's happening at 41 West 36th Street, Suite 1. And for consultation or services, you can visit with Stella Badalyan by visiting her becomewhatyouwish.com website. That's Become What You Wish. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about a traditional annual parade in January. Don't go anywhere. Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. So, El Museo del Barrio is, they're proud to present the 43rd annual Three Kings Day Parade and Celebration honoring New York City's past and present immigrant and migrant communities. This year's title of the parade is Nuestros Barrios Unidos, celebrating our collective strength, and it will feature colorful puppets, parrandas, music, and dancing. But most importantly, it celebrates the Latino cultural traditions honoring the Three Kings holiday. And joining us to tell us more, please welcome El Museo del Barrio's Director of Government and Community Affairs, Ana Chireno, the parade's Grand Marshal immigration rights activist Marco Saavedra, and honorary king, novelist, author of Bodega Dreams, Ernesto Quiñones. Hello and welcome, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about him being in costume, giving us a little sneak peek of what's to expect. I mean, there's so much more, but fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. I can't say it enough. But let's talk with you first, Ana. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I know you guys are really busy over there getting ready for this parade. 43 years in the making. It's really phenomenal. I had the honor of participating in it last year. I could say that now because we're in January, but it was the beginning of the year last year. And it's really amazing to see how many people come out.
Absolutely.
January in the cold.
Thousands.
Yes.
Thousands of school children, East Harlem residents come to celebrate the parade. It really is an inspiring thing. We brave the cold.
I know, but the beauty is that it really all of the cultural significance that is put into it. For example, I mean, I want to speak to everybody here. However, just in this costume, right? Yes, we are honoring the three kings, but the costumes themselves, they represent other people or icons, we'll say, within the community that serve in other forms. Not just the inspiration behind the design, but the person who even designed it.
Absolutely.
That was a lot, so break it down for everybody.
So there's a lot of symbols built into the parade, and Ernesto is wearing our Miguel de Cervantes costume, designed by Dominican-American designer Emilio Sosa, who was a Project Runway contestant. And it's one of our two costumes. The other two are Ana Caona and Arturo Schomburg. So the three kings costumes altogether celebrate the European, African, and indigenous elements that make up Latino culture.
And Arturo Schomburg, the costume, he was supposed to be here, but he got pulled over because he represents the African American in us. Couldn't make it, so it's just me.
You can't help yourself, right?
Well, I will say that it's fitting that Ernesto is wearing the Miguel de Cervantes costume. A Spanish writer. Ernesto is the writer of Bodega Dreams.
Yes, it is. It is. And so I want to talk a little bit about Marcos and everything that you've been enduring lately. And congratulations on becoming the Grand Marshal. What we forgot to mention is you're the second in the 43 years that they're honoring as a Grand Marshal. And that's a big deal considering what you're dealing with at this present moment.
Right. I mean, it's a huge honor, but I think also a responsibility as an advocate to speak for my community, represent it, but also hopefully empower it. And we're welcoming, obviously, everyone to come. But the day before, we'll have a little preparation at my family's restaurant, La Morada. And again, kind of make it also almost like a semi-rally so that people can also march with us and have banners and hummingbirds and butterflies to represent migration.
Yes, and so it's good that you mentioned La Morada because it's here in the Bronx. And, I know that you just recently had a rally in November seeking asylum, right?
Correct.
And so let's just put it out there because you need everybody's support. So it's lovely that Museo del Barrio has put you in this position.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the more publicity, the better. And we're expecting a result on my asylum hearing at the end of January. So it's very timely to have as much public pressure and public support as possible leading up to it.
That's lovely. And it's beautiful that we're all coming together. And in spite of our differences through shades and you can't help yourself, right, Ernesto?
Well, I used to be a young gun, but now I'm an, elder statesman. And that's when you join the dads and you wear silly costumes like this. But it's a big part of El Barrio, and I'm from El Barrio. It's a big part of me. And this parade has been going on since I was a kid. And now that I am an older, it's wonderful that I'm actually a king, and I take it as an honor to be a king in the Three Kings Day Parade in Spanish Harlem, in El Barrio.
I think it's beautiful that you are just really re-engaging with your roots, Ernesto. I mean, we've had you on the show before in case you guys need to be reminded. I mean, he's a professor up at Cornell, and he uses every opportunity he can to come back and participate in whatever it is that he can, and congratulations on being honored.
Yes, and I'm going to lose my tenure for wearing this. They're going to take it from me. I said, okay, thank you for the publicity. I'm just joking. It's actually a wonderful costume. Cervantes his left hand didn't work well, so he was called El Manco de Lepanto. So I'm going to play my part real well, so I'm going to have my hand like un manco, porque era un manco. That's why they were angry. The Spanish were angry, and that's why they conquered everybody. Anger. Anger is not good.
thank you for educating our viewers coming into the new year. It's important. I mean, that's what you do for a living. So.
It's early in the morning is what it is. Like,
That too. And so it's lovely. And thank you, really. I can't thank you enough. You know, I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you.
Yes. And so just the whole event itself, aside from the three kings, and let's also mention that the other two honorees are women.
Absolutely.
Right? So even though they're being referenced as kings, they're women being honored. And one of them I know is Elba Cabrera.
Representing the Bronx, that's right. La Madrina de las Artes. Elba Cabrera was the director of AHA, the Association for Hispanic Arts, for many years, and she supported thousands of Latino artists during her tenure, and we're super excited to have Elba. The other reina is Julissa Arce. She is an immigrant advocate. She has an amazing story. She was a dreamer, came to the U.S. from Mexico as a young person, worked her way through college since she couldn't access public assistance to pay for her college. She became an executive at Goldman Sachs, and she created a scholarship fund to help students, undocumented students like her, make their way through college.
So although everyone is wearing a costume and marching in this parade, there is an actual award ceremony that takes place early in the morning. And I want to know, what is that process that you go through to honor people and put them in this particular light? Because aside from the kings, I don't think we have the time to go through all the madrinas and padrinos, but there's another aspect to it. And so, like, what do the madrinas and padrinos represent?
Well, the parade is all about traditions and education, as you mentioned. We're a museum. We're dedicated to imbuing our future generations with knowledge, and part of that is the Taíno symbolism, our culture, our history, parrandas, aguinaldos, but it's also celebrating our local leaders. So we have a beautiful array of honorees, as you were mentioning. We not only have 3 kings, but we have our King Emeritus, Papoleto. We have 5 madrinas, 5 padrinos, our Grand Marshal, and I gotta say the Bronx is very represented. We have Lee Quiñones, the graffiti artist, not from the Bronx, but worked a lot in the Bronx. Blanca Amezcua, who's our artist that created our poster, runs an art space out of her apartment in the Bronx. Marco Saavedra, of course, as we mentioned, has his restaurant in La Morada. And so we use the breakfast ceremony to really highlight all of the different leaders that are doing amazing work in our communities.
Is it open to everyone, the breakfast ceremony?
Yes, it is.
So what time does that start?
Doors open at 8:30 in the cafe at El Museo del Barrio.
And you know, we can go on and talk about this all day, but they're wrapping us up. And if there's anything important that we did not touch on, now's the time to speak before we go.
Just want to say that the parade kickoff is on 106th Street and Park Avenue, and the parade starts promptly at 11 a.m. It ends at La Marqueta, where there's also music and hot chocolate for folks at 12 o'clock. And the party doesn't stop there. We'll be going to El Museo's Teatro for a performance at 1 p.m. from Los Pleneros de la 21.
That's lovely. And before we go, do you guys have any last words?
I mean, just thank you for your time and your support, and I hope to see everyone there. Make sure you dress warmly and wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah,
yeah, and
coming
if
into
it's
the new
cold, it's okay, because we're Latinos. We're hot-blooded. That's why we hate ice. We despise ice. And,
Exactly.
So if
So
you're an
clever.
immigrant, please come. And there might be camels. If it's not too cold, there's actually camels.
There is
There's
camels.
going to be camels. Yeah,
They-
yes, and not cigarettes, because some parades say there's camels. They give you cigarettes. There'll be real camels.
Camels, yes.
There'll be real camels from Africa. All right,
Yes,
so
they
please come.
they actually close out the parade. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. You're so clever. I can't take you. He's like, that's right. We're Latino. We're hot-blooded. We despise ice. Oíste?
That's right. 2020 election year. We're going to kick. Vamos a votar para votarlo.
Love it. I love it. I love it. And united we stand.
Always.
Unidos. Gracias. Thank you all for
Gracias.
being here. And you guys, bueno, it's Feliz Dia de los Reyes coming up. And the 43rd Annual Three Kings Day Parade and Celebration is taking place on Monday. And that's happening January 6th. The parade is taking place from 11 a.m. It kicks off 11 a.m. on 106 in Park. However, the breakfast ceremony kicks off at 8 a.m. And you're more than welcome to attend that as well. And if you're interested in more information, you can visit elmuseo.org/3K2020. And if you can't make the parade, follow El Museo's FB live stream, because it's going to be hosted by yours truly. Woo. Yeah, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll find out about this year's upcoming Women's March as well. Don't go anywhere. welcome back to Open, everyone. You know, always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNetTV, and while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. So this month, women across the world will come together to march for equality, social change, domestic violence awareness, and more, and definitely politics, you know, because in the wake of Trump's impeachment, we got to come together. So here to tell us more about how you can take action in this year's event, we welcome Women's March Alliance co-chair Sunma Arsu-Brown and Women's March Alliance organizer and press Michelle Sampson. Hello and welcome, ladies.
Welcome.
The year of the roar, the year of the roar.
Roar! Did I say that too loud? Rise and roar, ladies.
We are very, very, very excited to this. Actually, we kind of inherited this about 4 weeks ago. New York was in jeopardy of not having a march, even though the Women's March Alliance had all of our permits. But we were so afraid to take on something large for another year in a row. But we decided, you know what, the voices of New York City women is way too important to shut down. And this is too much of an important year. And across the nation, New York is one of the largest march. So the Bronx women pretty much took this on.
What? Wait a minute, let's back up. Oh my gosh, we gotta back it up.
yeah.
All right, because I've been participating with you every year.
That's right.
And you're right, this is like a huge event.
Yes.
And so, you're saying to me, in its 4th year, it was in jeopardy of even happening?
Even happening. It was a matter of, I'm part of the board, so it was.
Well, I remember you became a board member like 2 years
After
ago?
I spoke.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That was about 2
In
years ago.
17, which was awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
And you stuck with it a little bit more involved than just
Yeah.
participating.
And thank God. So it was like, Suma, we need a chair, we need a co-chair. Do you want to take it on? If you don't take it on, it's not happening. So those are my choices. So I called all my friends and networks that I know, and it's predominantly, you know, women from here in the Bronx and in Harlem, and we just all decided we're gonna make this happen. Period.
Okay, so we really need to know, like, what is it that broke down in this process, right? Because there's always all kinds of obstacles trying to shut our mouths.
Exactly. It was a lot of divisiveness going on last year, which tended to separate women of New York. So that you know, a lot of press and a lot of pressure. So we were kind of like afraid to take that on. This year is a lot different now. The Women's March Alliance is having the March on Columbus Circle, and March On will be having the March on Foley Square. But we decided with the other organization, March On, to link together and just bring back the voices of women, because we cannot be shut down, and unified is the only way we know how to work.
All right, so just elaborate a little further on March On, the difference between the Women's March Alliance, March On, because there's like all these divisions, right? Because there was also the Women's March that was kind of not the Women's March Alliance, and so where are we now?
Well, now for 2020, we just want a sustainable, solid sisterhood. And
Nice.
that's what we're building on for this year. And we were able to collaborate as far as definitely speak with other organizations, such as the ones that you've named prior, and say, hey, let's get together, let's do this, and let's really rally and definitely get all the women out, because this whole event is bigger than all of us.
It really is.
Absolutely.
I mean, they come out in like the hundreds of thousands.
And that's what we want.
And
We
so
want
to
more.
hear that it was in jeopardy and that you kind of inherited it a week or two ago makes me go, oh my goodness, how these forces insist on trying to work
We
against.
rise to the occasion, and then we roar when we get there.
I like that. I like that. That's where the theme came from.
Yeah.
She's like, rise to the occasion, and then we roar.
roar. We get
And
there.
that's exactly what it feels like when everybody comes together.
It's
That's
gonna
one of
be
my favorite
dynamic.
marches.
Thank you.
I mean, this march
Appreciate
is
that.
phenomenal.
Absolutely.
So who's going to be speaking at this march? Do we have that set up?
I would love to give my roster of names. However, we're still waiting on confirmation. So you will definitely know soon, right before the march hits, who's going to be our key speaker. Hoping to see you there.
Oh, yeah,
We'll
no,
have a
I'll be there.
dressing
Oh,
done.
oh, you know I'm
So
there.
We're definitely excited about the speaking.
I mean,
list.
last
It's
year
gonna
you
be
had
great.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yes, we did.
Yes, okay, because you're her again. And I mean, in the past, you had Rosie Perez, you had
Yeah,
Whoopi Goldberg.
We had
I mean-
so many. Whoopi was awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
so just to let you know, the roars this year, of course, are going to be pay equity, immigration reform as it relates to DACA and our dreamers. We're going to roar against domestic violence, get people out there to vote. Our LGBTQ and our brothers and sisters in the disabled community will also be included because it's important for us to have as much diversity, as much roars as possible. And that's why we are so grateful that
Yes.
you invited us to come and speak
Yes.
today, because we need the collaborative effort of course, my peoples from the BX.
Well, we're here for you
Yeah,
every year. Every
yeah.
year we have you guys on. I mean, it may not be you specifically,
Yeah.
but
It's
the
gonna
Women's
keep
March
evolving.
Alliance, because that's what it's about,
Right.
the alliance.
Absolutely. We
right.
can't have it any other way. And we still need as much help as possible, financially, monetarily. So I want to invite all the guests to go to womensmarchalliance.org
Yes.
and please donate. We have just a little bit more to go to just finalize all the logistics needed to make this the year of the roar for real, and make 2020 a heavy hitter. It is important for all of us to get together.
Okay, so I just for clarity purposes, you know, people need to understand what the finances are going towards, right? Because it costs money
Yeah.
for the equipment, for the technical side. I mean, I know because I coordinate events. So just share with everyone so that they understand the severity of the finances having to match.
Yeah, no, it's very important. We need sound for
Yes.
sure. So we're good with the stage right now. We need sound. We just collected, dollars for like the whole mail merch. So everything is literally going to make sure our speakers are heard on stage. So we need finances for sound. If there's somebody out there that could just donate the sound, just please visit womensmarchalliance.org and make the contribution.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to name a money amount, but we'll take
The larger
it.
the better. It helps us fund for next year.
Yeah,
Just keep
yeah.
it coming.
Again,
But
we
the
inherited
idea
this.
is that you're just looking for contributions, in period, even if it's in-kind
Yeah.
service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
volunteers. We're in need of volunteers. womensmarchalliance.org, and we're also. Yeah, that's
No,
Marshall.
I get it. You know,
It's a
and
lot.
I hope you guys get it, because even though it's the Women's March Alliance, right, and it's the Women's March, it isn't just women that march.
That's
I mean,
right.
we're talking entire families march.
Oh,
at
yeah,
this
it's-
event.
Yes.
And thank you for
Yes.
alluding to that. It is a family-friendly march. It's definitely going to be an opportunity for you to show your kids and your family members how collectively we can make a difference together. Organizations, if you are an organization that needs your voice heard, please, again, contact us. We need you to come out there and march with us and roar with us, and we'll be more than happy to do whatever we can to raise awareness of your organization.
And I just want to reiterate, definitely, you women who have a voice or feel, or even if you're concerned about saying, can I really make a difference? Yes, we want to have you. We want to hug you. We want to rally with you. We want to walk with you. Please come
Yeah.
out.
In sisterhood, we stand.
Yes.
And we walk.
Yes.
And we rise. And we roar. Yes. That's right.
Absolutely.
You already
Absolutely.
know. That's the energy you guys are going to experience.
That
Yeah,
felt
was
good.
great.
Yes.
All right, you guys, once again, New York City's Women's March is taking place on Saturday, January 18th. The lineup is at 10:30 a.m. and the march begins at 11:40 a.m. That's at 61st and Columbus Circle. That does not mean you show up at 11:40. Lineup is at 10:30. I'm telling you, thousands and thousands of people show up for this march. And once again, for anybody interested in contributing to the march and being part of the march, visit womensmarchalliance.org. All right, stay tuned because Bobby C's weekly sports roundup is coming up next.
Hello 2020. We begin our look at sports with a wrap to the NFL season here in the Big Apple. We'll start with Big Blue and Week 17. Giants taking on the Eagles in Week 17 during a rain-soaked afternoon at MetLife Stadium. With a win, Philly punches their ticket to the postseason. The game would be largely uneventful early with both teams trading field goals. But with just under 2 minutes to go in the first half, Carson Wentz connects with Josh Perkins for a 24-yard TD pass. Giants rookie corner DeAndre Baker is late on the play. Eagles take a 10-3 lead into the break. We go to the fourth quarter. Game tied at 17 on 3rd and 10. Wentz's pass to Greg Ward Jr. is broken up. With a chance to take the lead, kicker Jake Elliott lines up for the 50-yard field goal and sails it through the uprights. That's when the Eagles would turn up the intensity on defense. On first down, Daniel Jones is sacked by Derek Barnett for a 3-yard loss. Next possession, with the play clock winding down, Jones bobbles the snap, knocked loose by Malcolm Jenkins, and recovered by Fletcher Cox, just short of a score. And the Eagles take a team photo to commemorate the play. At the goal line, Philly caps off the turnover with a 2-yard rushing touchdown handed off to Boston Scott. Eagles take a 27-17 lead. The Boston Scott show would continue with 7:10 remaining. Scott takes the short pass, avoids 2 tackles, jukes, and spins his way to a 39-yard gain, finally taken down at the 2-yard line. Next play, Scott finishes the job. Touchdown. Once the 5th option at running back for Philly, Boston Scott outscores the Giants single-handedly, finishing with 138 all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns. Eagles win 34-17 en route to the division title and a trip to the postseason. Strong rookie season for QB Daniel Jones. As for Eli Manning, his birthday today certainly looks like we have seen the last of him with the Giants. He said he'll either retire or play elsewhere next season. Giants backup, not an option. We've also seen the last of Pat Shurmur. He was fired. The Giants retained GM Dave Gettleman and are now searching for a new head coach. Meanwhile, the New York Jets concluded their regular season in a 13-6 victory over playoff-bound Buffalo Sunday. The last time we saw them, the home finale, Gang Green posted a 16-10 win against Pittsburgh. We go back inside the locker room for more.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was, early on in the year it was still all new to us, new scheme, new offense, learning each other as players, coaches still learning the players, and just trying to get into that rhythm.
We've been through ups and downs all year, but we continue to battle. Obviously we had a few losses, but and a few wins, but it's still the same team, same energy level, same effort level. We don't take a step back. We look forward to each week. For one game coming up, I don't expect no letdowns.
Marcus May don't get a lot of credit, obviously. He's very underrated. People don't give him his respect, but he works his butt off each and every day, man. He comes out and he competes. So, you know how I feel about him, man.
I feel great. Our defense, the way they've been stepping up in huge moments for us this year has been outstanding. Can't say enough great things about them. Special teams has been great. On offense, we did our job when we needed to. Some plays that, we'd like to have back, but it was good to get a win.
Sam, Sam always impresses me, man. He continued to get better. That last drive when we got the field goal in the fourth quarter, that was huge. Because we really put a lot on him. Because those guys, they start going base against our Kings, our Kings personnel. So they were really trying to stop the run and make sure that we had to put the ball in the air, and Sam was delivering. The offensive line did a great job protecting them. Sam made decisive decisions, got the ball out of his hands. The receivers outside made plays when they needed to. Crowder, Vincent, everybody. So everybody that was called upon today, West Coast, they made the play. That's what we needed today.
No Giants, no Jets in the playoffs, but we'll see those Bills and Houston Saturday in the early game. New England and Tennessee in the nightcap, and then Minnesota New Orleans Sunday afternoon, and those Eagles and Seattle in the late game Sunday. Wild card weekend. Don't look now, but the 10-24 New York Knicks have crept to within 5 games of the 8th seed in the East, with January, February, March, and April ahead of them. Armed with their first 3-game win streak of the season, the Knicks get the Phoenix Suns tonight on the West Coast swing. Then the trip turns ferocious with games against both Los Angeles powerhouses before wrapping up in Utah. It is part of a 16-game January, the team's busiest month of the season. Interim head coach Mike Miller, who is 6-6 since taking over, has had a softer schedule than predecessor David Fizdale did. Knicks top Portland 117-93 Wednesday night, and Carmelo Anthony's second return to the Garden since his days in orange and blue, his first with the Blazers. He posted a season-high 26 points, but it wasn't enough. Here's more with Melo.
The love was definitely felt tonight, from the fans that was here, from just the city as a whole, just being back. I think that feeling is kind of hard to explain, but for me to kind of get that ovation and just, I think I've always, had the love from the city like that, but, to be back in this building that I spent so many years in, that love felt extremely good tonight.
We'll have the game that turned the Knicks season around on Monday's Open. Conversely, it may have been the game that got the Brooklyn Nets into their latest funk. Nets fell at Dallas Thursday night on the road, 123-111, come from behind win for the Mavs. Still no Kyrie Irving for the Nets, but somehow the injured guard has 4 times more All-Star votes than Spencer Dinwiddie, who has performed exceptionally well in his absence. We'll also have more on the Kyrie invite on Monday's Open. From the NBA hardwood to the baseball hot stove, Dellin Betances is changing baseball zip codes but still staying here in New York. The former Yankee All-Star was introduced by the New York Mets Thursday morning. Here's more.
Dellin Betances. He's one of the most accomplished and dominant relief pitchers in Major League Baseball. As you'll see here in a couple of minutes, he's an imposing figure. He's got size, he's got strength, and he's got swagger when he takes the mound.
Definitely a lot of things that I'm excited about. I've heard a lot of great things about the organization from Brody, a lot of the staff that I've spoke to. My goal is to win, and I'm gonna do the best I can to win. As I've said in my social media posts, New York is in my blood, I grew up playing in the Lower East Side. I went to high school in Brooklyn. In 2007, I played minor league ball in Staten Island. In 2011, I made my major league debut in the Bronx, and now I stand here, getting the chance to wear this Mets uniform and playing in Queens. So thank you guys for everything.
If healthy, Betances should definitely improve that Mets bullpen in 2020. Time for some quick hitters. David Stern, the 30-year commissioner who molded the shape of the modern NBA into a global iconic brand, died from the brain hemorrhage he suffered 3 weeks ago in a New York restaurant. He was 77. Stern passed away early on New Year's Day. As did New York Yankees great Don Larson. More on the imperfect, perfect Yankee in the C-list. Stay tuned. Back on the NBA hardwood, Zion Williamson is not making his NBA debut in the next few days, but things are getting closer, according to reports. Williamson practiced with the team on Thursday, his first with New Orleans since his surgery. While there is no timeline for his return yet, he said he was just happy to be back out there. We're happy the #1 pick is playing, too. Can't say the same for Yankees starter Domingo Germán. He will miss the first 63 games of the 2020 season as part of his suspension for a domestic incident last year. On top of the 18 games served at the end of last season, it's one of the most significant suspensions for domestic violence MLB has levied. In college football, we will see Heisman winner Joe Burrow in the national championship game. The matchup of LSU and Clemson pits this season's most relentless juggernaut against this decade's most unstoppable program. It's a collision of Burrow and LSU's pinball offense and Clemson's relentless 29-game winning streak. Number 1 LSU has opened up as 6-point favorites against number 3 Clemson. That's a massive compliment to LSU, considering that Clemson hasn't lost a game since January 1st of 2018. Clemson took care of number 2 Ohio State to reach the title game. Number 1 LSU crushed Oklahoma. Check this score, 63-28 to meet number 3 Clemson. Too many bowl games, not enough time in this segment, but we'll recap the New Era Pinstripe Bowl on Monday's Open 2. That game was played at Yankee Stadium the Friday after Christmas. On the ice, the Rangers were clipped 4-3 by Calgary Thursday night, while the New Jersey Devils edged the New York Islanders 2-1 out at Nassau Coliseum. Rangers skate in Vancouver Saturday. Devils return to Newark to host Colorado Saturday. The Isles are in Toronto Saturday. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list to pay tribute to Don Larson. Don Larson became an unlikely legend in 9 perfect innings. For many of you, myself included, that comes a long time before we were born. Larson's singular accomplishment, a perfect game in the 1956 World Series, is a testament to the whims of baseball. He remains the only man to ever do it. Larson, who died on Wednesday at age 90, was hardly the greatest pitcher ever. He played for 7 teams in 14 seasons with 81 victories and 91 defeats. A year after his perfect game, he lost Game 7 of the Fall Classic to the Milwaukee Braves. Yet all these years later, Larson's 2-0 masterpiece for the Pinstripers remains a phenomenon. No pitcher has carried even a no-hitter into the 9th inning of a World Series game since. Larson lived the rest of his life as a baseball immortal. Larson's perfecto was the only one between 1922 and 1964. No perfect game was tossed the entire decade of the 70s. 2 other Yankees, David Wells in 1998 and David Cohn in 1999, remarkable when you think about it, have done it, and Larson had a connection to both. Larson and Wells both attended Point Loma High School in San Diego, and Larson threw the ceremonial first pitch to Yogi Berra on the day of Cohn's gem. He may not be a Hall of Famer, but for one day, no one was better than Don Larson on a baseball mound. And for it to come at Yankee Stadium in pinstripes and in the World Series, no less, it's pretty hard to fathom a more perfect day for a man who always said that he was anything but. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C. See you Monday morning.
We are Jerome Avenue, the heart of the Bronx. This is where I grew up. Business is booming, people are moving, everyone works hard. Nothing was handed to anyone here. I've been in here to take my passport pictures. I bought flowers here for my mother. Oh, this is where I get my smoothies, by the way. Continuation. This is what we call the O, 170th Street. It feels so Bronx. Hey, my man Fonzie. We've walked up and down the corridor, nothing but love. And I'm glad to say that Jerome is home.
Welcome back to Open, everyone. So our next guest is an R&B singer whose goal is to conquer the music industry note by note. And, well, her music is laced with heartfelt melodies, strong vocals that tells many stories. Yeah, and joining us to share more on her music and to give us a taste of her sultry sounds, please welcome Lea Anderson.
It's the first to call when my mind is gone, so I usually speak my heart. It's the first can talk, when my mind can't rest, I make decisions from my heart. But you wanna know it. It's the first to speak when my heart can't breathe. I need to protect my heart, heart, heart. But you wanna know it. I was just too dramatic for you when I started wondering. I was just too petty for you when my instincts told me no. I was too independent for you when I realized the smoke had cleared, the love was there, but you don't know me anymore. Did you ever love me? You never knew me. So I fought for my heart. It's the first to bleed when you hit me. So I fought for my heart. It's the first to break when my body shakes. I need to protect my heart, heart, heart. But you wouldn't know it. You never knew me. I was just too dramatic for you when I started wondering. I was just too petty for you when my instincts told me no. I was too independent for you when I realized the smoke had cleared, the love was there. Hope you don't hit me anymore. Don't care if you love me. You never knew me. You never knew me. You never knew me. No. Thank you.
Aww. Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's been that kind of show.
It has
And so
been.
thank you for
I'm so
closing.
happy it, relates to everything else we had going on today.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Right? The year of the women roar.
Yes. We have
And-
to roar back.
And yeah, but not only that, go inside and dig from within. That's
Yeah.
what today was all about. And thank you for closing us out with that reminder.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
Ah,
Welcome
thank
back
you.
to our show, Lea Anderson.
Thank you
Amazing.
for having me again.
You are our first performer of 2020.
Setting
Yes.
the bar.
Yes,
setting the
that's
tone.
it. That's it. Congratulations.
Thank
Woo.
you.
And
Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness. No, thank you for blessing our open stage. And we're just going to thank ourselves and keep thanking back and forth. And we're going to thank each other harder. And then the whole segment's going to be over. And we're just going to be thanking each other. No, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful when we open up in that space of gratitude.
Yes.
Let's talk about you. I know you're going to sing another song for us, but really, I know you have an event coming up. The one I saw is in February. You over
Yes.
there performing at the former Studio 54.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, talk
I'll
about
be
that.
at 54 Below. Every year I do a Whitney Houston tribute show. It's my third one. I realized that I moved to New York from South Carolina the night that she passed away. She just happened to be one of my favorite artists of all time, one of my favorite voices. So it's just, I feel like it's my duty to pay homage to her.
And so, how many of her songs are you going to be singing?
Oh my goodness. I haven't picked a set list right now. I have 48. I have 48 songs.
48 songs.
That is way too long.
That is way too long. I mean, how long of a concert is this?
It's only an hour. So with special guests, so I have to pick probably 10 at most. But it'll be on February 13th, pre-Valentine's
Right,
Day.
pre-Valentine's Day.
Yeah, 9:30, 54 Below in New York City.
Awesome. Hey, no, it's lovely. I mean, we're like a whole month in advance, but we want to give everybody advance notice, and of course you can always check her out on YouTube and
pre-order the tickets.
And pre-order the tickets. That's right. And in order to do that, you got to go to her website, which is imleeanderson.com. That's right, for her music and for the tickets. And she's gonna close us out with another song because she wanted to come and sing for you guys, and so we want to honor that. So before we go, I want to make sure that you guys check her out on Instagram at @IamLeeAnderson. And once again, she's got upcoming performances, and that's our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Welcome to the year of clarity. Happy 2020, y'all. We leave you with Lea Anderson. Woo!
Love you every day. I wanna love you and love you and love you all of my way. Hey, the people upstairs will know what's going on. I'm up all night just to sing your songs. I wanna love you and love you and love you every day. To the show, sitting pretty up in the front row. I'm gonna put on my tight dress and jiggle every